All right, good morning, good morning. Ghost, what's good? Are you able to hear me okay? All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, let's get right to it. Um, Ghost, I don't know if you took our odd JPY trade from last night in the Discord, but so far it played out pretty good with a nice drop, and we're touching a fair value gap, so we have another opportunity right here to get in for the sell and uh have it go our way. So just take a look at that if you haven't already gotten into it on JPY. All right. Also, what's looking good is the odd New Zealand. Okay. We have divergence, bearish divergence, and then we had the break of this trend line just now. It's still kind of, it's just below this low. So it's doing a little dance right now, but it's looking good for a drop. This is one that we were looking at last week, around Thursday, Friday, but it's playing out now. So just kind of seeing, yeah, so it's breaking below the previous day low, and again, we should get it to fall either now or sometime this week. So that's another really good setup, the odd New Zealand. So take a look at that, and see if you can take advantage. Yeah, it's kind of like it's respecting it just a little bit, but um, if you get a break below the support area, then it's definitely a go. But you can see how we're playing it with roughly a 34 pip stop loss and 100 pip take profit on New Zealand. All right, but let's go ahead and hop over to the dollar and see what's going on. All right, guys, I'm looking at it on the 15-minute time frame, and I'm just trying to see what happened in the Asian session. Pretty much, we were trending coming out of the New York session into the Asian session for a uptrend. All right, and now we've gotten coming out of the Asian session now into the London session, which we are in right now. We basically broke out of here and just kind of came to the downside and tapped into this support level, which is really um, just a demand zone. There's an order block right here that it tapped into, and now it's starting to rise. All right. So from a manipulation standpoint, this was the manipulation to the downside, and now this is potentially the distribution to the upside. So accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution to the upside. Again, that may have went over a lot of people's heads, but if it did, your best bet is to come get with me, forexwithbain.com. Click on the link for the Discord and join the gang so I can break all of that down into more detail. We actually had a session about that last night, that my members were able to finally, have some understanding about Wyckoff and accumulation, distribution, expansion, all that good stuff. All right, so just again, guys, check me out, forexwithbain.com, and I will get you right. All right, but regardless, it's looking bullish for the dollar. All right, guys, if you look at this low, this was the previous week low. That's that started here. Then we had a higher low. All right, and we had basically equal lows. This is all equal lows here. So we're still trending bullish, right? So now we're just breaking above this little high point right here. And out of the Asian session, we got that manipulation, basically a pullback to, breaking this high. So price moving up, breaking this high, and now a nice little pullback out of the Asian session, respecting this level of support, and now the bulls are showing up. So I don't think we're going to be bullish for long. I mean, we do have news at 10 o'clock. It's about ISM. So it's a lot of the purchasing stuff, and managers take a survey, basically trying to determine what's the state of the economy. From how they see it with the survey, right? And depending on if that's above 50, which they're looking for it to be 53, it's now 53.4. It's 53.4, but they're expecting it to be 53.0. So they expect it to go down just a little bit, but it's still above 50. So even if the news comes out bad, that may still be a positive outlook for the dollar, in which case, if it is positive, I expect us to push up and fill this fair value gap to the downside. All right, you can't. This fair value gap is not here on the 2 hour. It's on the 1 hour. Yeah, there it is. So between this bull candle and this one, we have this fair value gap. So I expect the dollar to push up into this fair value gap if news is positive. And now from there, I'm not sure what it's going to do because, again, this is a lot of bearish pressure to where it may just balance itself out once it does this and then, start to fall. So the only other thing that, I'll be looking for is if news is obviously really good and then we break above the fair value gap, right, with the nice candle that opens and closes like this. In that case, guys, then we're definitely going to head up to the previous week high for the dollar. And that's going to be a major move on the dollar. All right, guys, from 103.88 to 104.29, roughly almost, a full dollar movement. All right. So just know that this can fuel massive movement on the majors, the commodities, and the indices. All right, guys. So again, I'm going to be bullish on the dollar. Got a few alerts set right now. We'll leave it be and see if any of these get triggered during our session right now. But we can pretty much bank on the fact that we've seen the we've seen price come out and try to manipulate. It's not complete yet, simply because, again, these are equal lows right here. So you got really quick, and I will get to some trades. But here is a support level, a low, and then here is another one right here. All right, guys. If you guys can't see this, all right, I'm trying to zoom in as much as possible, but they are equal. Okay. So you just bring it right on across, right? And they're sitting at the same level. So because of that, there's liquidity that sits right behind it. Most people buy from these lows, right, on the higher lows, but they buy from these and then they set their stop loss somewhere, back here. Okay. So even though we've come out of the Asian session and we've gone down, right, that does not necessarily mean that the manipulation is through. Okay. What I see is that we really haven't broken the high or the low of the Asian session, right? So the top of this yellow box and the bottom, we haven't broken. No candle has gotten above the high or the low. So if we really want to, see that this is going to turn out to be bullish, simply we want to see price come down and sweep the liquidity right under these lows. So if we get that, not only will it sweep the liquidity, right? Go a stop hunt, if that's the term that you guys are more familiar with. After it does that, it would have also breaking below the Asian low right here. All right. So I am expecting this to happen before price either taps into that level of support and then start to rise from there. But by this time, guys, it'll be news, right? So we can let it do all the manipulation right now. We are super early. News comes out at 10. So, you're going to get a lot more, whatever kind of dance it wants to do right now. And then closer to that 10 o'clock, we'll probably see the manipulation happen and then dollar begin to rise, right? So, that's how I expect things to play out, but bullish on the dollar, all right? So let's bring it up to 4 hour, and here is the beautiful chart. I'll get rid of some stuff that I really don't need. I'll take away the consolidation and the equal lows, all right? But for the most part, guys, we're still bullish on the dollar, all right? Easy. Okay, is that divergence? See on the bottom. Wait a minute, I can't see this. Seen on the bottom of the chart to right. Let me see. So say that again, Ghost. What are you saying about New Zealand? On the bottom chart to the right. Oh, you're saying two, right? I'm tripping. It's early. Yeah, I mean it's divergence, bro. From this higher time frame on the 4 hour, but let me get out of replay mode because I was testing. Divergence under the RSI chart. Oh, let me take another look. No, this really isn't divergence here, like on the 1 hour, but let me just go back to the 4 hour in case you were talking about that. Okay, no, it's not. So it's not bullish divergence, if that's what you're asking. It is still bearish, because once we created the divergence, the chart still kind of gave us these higher highs, so you can see the wedge forming right now. And then once we broke out of it, is when we kind of cross that golden line on the RSI and started to push down. So you can see, we were close to that 70, and then we started to curve on down. So again, I still expect a drop, even if we don't get one. I'm still expecting it simply because we have a whole lot of imbalance right here that we did not fill just yet. And for the simple fact that we broke yesterday's low, right? We have this rising wedge into this major level of resistance, actually were the last week highs. And actually, so wait, let me adjust this because I don't think I did. Okay, no, I had it right. All right, yeah. So we have the rising wedge into the last week's support as well as the previous day's high. So last week high and the previous day high, we respected, and then we broke the trend line. So there's a lot of things that are screaming bearish, right? Even though we're sitting at this level of support for right now, right? As we go a little lower into the time frame, what you'll see is, let me kind of clean this up just a bit. Okay, so here on the 30-minute, we're always just marking up the charts regardless of what time frame we're on. If you see gaps, if you see support and resistance, if you see order blocks, whatever it is, mark it up. All right. So there was a seller's order block here. Really, it was kind of like right there from this time frame, from this 30-minute. But if we stretched it out, we respected it, and then we dropped and we broke this low right here. So let's just mess with this. I'll get rid of this. All right. And again, just kind of get the chart right. Okay. So again, I'm talking about the break of this low right here. So it was once acting as support. With this big bear candle, we broke it. We came and made a new low, rejected all of this from previously, right? Again, funny how that, the future price movement pretty much reflects off of the past price movement. All right, guys. And again, that's just something that when you get in the mix, you'll start to see, and it'll make you better. All right. But it respected that level of support, and then it came back up. But as it's pulling back up, right, we know that again in you know any trading, once you get a break of a level, potentially, right, more often than not, you're going to get a pullback to that level. And again, that's exactly what happened. We pulled back and we started rejecting that level. Unfortunately, we didn't drop from there, right? We just pulled up a little bit more. Why is that? Because we have imbalance that was sitting right here, okay, that price is just playing around with. So it wants to try to convince as many people as possible that it's probably going to start going up now. All right. And again, it could still probably go, look, these are all equal. I'll put a little line really quick right here. All right. Just about there. Right. And that is resistance. Okay. Because of the level of where price came to. And then on top of that, there's a fair value gap right behind it. This is why I encourage you guys to mark up everything that you see so you can get the bigger picture. All right. So with this fair value gap to the downside, all right, what you're noticing is that right here, this is money, 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 money. Okay. And boom. So what price can do, right? Now that it's testing this fair value gap, it could say, you know what? I want to go and grab the liquidity. So it pushes up even further, takes this out, right? Goes right above that resistance line, takes this out, and it's like, oh, we need to balance ourselves out as well. So we'll go ahead and hit the fair value gap for where we had imbalance, but now we're going to be balanced, right? We're going to balance it out. All right, so we've got our money, we balanced out. We're going to get in at a better price point at this high point, and now we're ready to drop. Okay, that's how that typically plays out. So me seeing this and marking all of this up on the 30-minute time frame, I have a great idea of where price most likely will pull back to before it drops. And also because of that, I'll come to a higher time frame and you can see, well, my stop loss is way up here, right? Which is nowhere near where I expect price to really pull back to. So even if it, for whatever reason, if it does more than that, I'm still okay, right? And this is just a 20 or 34 pip stop loss. I love when I have stuff that's less than 50 pips, right? But you can tell that I can get away with putting it down here, right? That'll probably be roughly, 30 pips or, 29. I can get away with putting it right here. That'll probably be, maybe 15 pips, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's a good way to have great risk to reward management on the trade or ratio on the trade, right? But this is pretty much what I'm expecting to happen on that New Zealand. And then, we'll go and fill this imbalance for a good amount of pips, man. So, guys, please look out for a drop on the odd New Zealand. All right, it'll get you paid. All you need is one trade, guys. One trade. All right. So let's look at the majors, since we believe that the dollar is going to rise. And again, guys, look at this. I've already called the sell, right? I've already told my team, if you guys watch my weekly watch list, I told you guys I was bearish on these non-dollar based pairs. All right. So let me just kind of get this going and make sure. Okay, yeah, it looks good. So previous day we broke below, all right, and now we rejected the previous week's low, all right. So we may form some kind of reversal off of this. That's possible because again we're still waiting on news. So I talked about news being good for the dollar, which would cause this to fall. But what if news is bad for the dollar and causes the dollar to fall? Then this pair is going to rise. All right. And again, all you need to do is just make sure you have your zones marked up so that you can kind of determine, where price is most likely to head to, when news comes out. And that's really all to it. You know what I mean? But again, to formulate it all the correct way, get with me and I will let you guys know, how to understand this stuff. All right. But as of right now, odd dollar is still looking bearish. My team is up 46 pips. We sold it from here, and here's the drop. Again, we may still get it if news is good to where we make about 75 pips. So just looking at this really, really roughly from a bird's eye view, we got big run, pullback, run, little dance, another run, big pullback where we broke structure. So when we pull back here, again, we're now going in a little consolidated manner, right? The candles are going side by side and respecting this low. So there's a big possibility, right? And there's a little fair value gap there, not much, if anything, but there's a possibility for us to now begin to rise off of this. And again, it most likely will depend on what happens with news, right? But looking at it from a lower time frame, all right, just to kind of mark up, some points of interest, guys. Let's see. So broke this low, and we're still respecting that because we did all this dance, but we came up and then we dropped again, so we respect it. Let me just try to illustrate it here. There it is. All right. So it was once support over here. We broke below it, massive bearish candle, did a whole bunch of up and down, came back and respected that same support area that we previously broke as resistance, and then we dropped again. So again, we're just telling we're writing this all over again when we're looking, right? All of this is a level right here. So, support for the most part, okay? But whoop, there it is, right? So we just broke this level, and we actually broke below the previous week low, right? We got below this wick right here, and that was the lowest price got to last week. So now here, let me get this. All right, so now after we broke this low, we also broke that previous support just like we did up here, right? And what happened, right? When we broke this, we came right back to it and dropped. Now we're breaking this one, and we're right back to it, and we're probably going to drop. Guys, hopefully you can see the fair value gap that sits right above it, okay? And this is why you mark up everything that you have. There is the fair value gap to the downside, okay? And there it is. So the order block sits right here. And that is also your supply zone. And there you have it. Now you can pull out Fibonacci. Here is, let's say, I'll take this as the high, and I'll take this as the low, and we'll see what Fibonacci says. So right about here, and take it on down. And there you go. We're already in the golden zone in regards to a pullback, right? So again, it may try to reach all the way for 100% retracement back to this order block. All right, so let me really put this as the order block, and it is unmitigated. Okay, so we may try to really push up to here and then reject it and then fall. All right, again, we have news coming, so you just got to be careful. But the main thing is to, let news happen, set your alerts, and then, give it 30 minutes to an hour before you really make a move, because price will still react off of that news throughout the rest of the day, right? So there's no need to rush your trades, especially if it's in a position where it looks like it can go either way. All right, you want to have those things that are clear cut that tell you, okay, yes, it's ready to fall, or yes, it's ready to rise. But for me, I'm seeing that we just broke support again. We broke the previous week low. We're pulling back into a Fibonacci level and a fair value gap. Yes, the only other thing now is that we could pull back a little more, or the bears could start to show up. And that's pretty much all I'm waiting for, is a nice bearish candle that forms something just like this. If I get this bearish candle, oh, it's go time. I'll put another position. I'll put my stop probably here or above the previous day high, and I'll write it out for a 1 to 2, and things will be very, very lovely. All right, so odd dollar, guys, don't miss out. All right, I've already called it for the week, and we're up 45 pips. So again, you know, when you know, right? And again, not everything is going to be where you win. Okay, so just remember that, and things will be fine. You just got to keep going, keep going, keep going, right? No matter what happens. I know that's easier said than done, but I do it, and a lot of my members do it, and you can do it too. You just gotta, commit to it, and everything will be fine. Um, so I'm bearish on the odd dollar. All right, just for the most part, when it's like that for any of the non-dollar based pairs like the odd dollar, it's like that for all of them. So we head over to the euro dollar, and this looks a little cleaner for a potential drop because I'm seeing all of this level that we haven't broken above, right? Not saying that we can't, but so far we haven't, right? So let's just kind of do the dance, and I'll break this down and show you guys. But also we will, really look for, I'll take the time to really just eyeball some stuff and see if there's anything set up for a good trade. But also, want you guys to learn while you're here because, me giving you fish, that's one thing. But me teaching you how to fish, that's a whole nother ball game. All right. And that's the ball game that I play. So here we go. That's Tuesday. That's Monday, Friday. And this is Monday. All right. So that was the lowest Friday. And yep, that was the highest of that week. All right. So we're good. So basically, from Friday, we broke above that Friday high and we pushed up into the previous week high and rejected it. So once we did that, we can probably frame a reversal off of that, okay, off of that high. And the next day, we can see that price really is what we call an inside bar. Basically, it didn't take out the high of Monday, and it did not take out the low of Monday just yet. It's just trading in the middle. So it's like, okay, well, what do you do when, how do you determine, all right, our dollar alert went off, but how do you determine what's going to happen today, right, if price is just trading inside the high and the low? Well, you go to the lower, well, one, you look at the higher time frame, see what this is. So this kind of looks, all of this obviously is down. And then right about here, we broke above this high. So it turned bullish, right, where we had this high, and now we have this higher high and this higher low. So euro dollar actually from this time frame looks bullish. Okay. So I've been talking about how we haven't broke above this weekly high, right? So even as we look left, you can just kind of see, this line extends really all the way here, right? So now looking at it, it looks a whole lot different to where, again, this is a major resistance level. So yes, even though we're bullish, right, and we've created this higher low, now we're failing to create that higher high. So again, if news is good for the dollar, this will fall. If news is bad for the dollar, this could potentially break this resistance, right? The candles will tell you. You just have to know how to read it and be patient for it to show you that it's going to do that. But again, looking at this from the daily and trying to determine, if it's going to continue to go up or down, we just go to the lower time frame, right? And now what do we see is that here's that big up move that I was talking about, right? Uptrend, but then all of a sudden we got here, right? So we first got here one time, major wick, okay? Because again, when we look left, all that resistance is to the left, but major wick, right? Major wick, and then come back. We dropped down, came right back to it, right? Dropped down again, came in the area, right? Haven't really started to get higher except for just here. Just right here, we got higher than here, but we're still not higher than before. So, those kind of things are what stands out as a potential for price to reverse. All right. So you can kind of put it as a zone if you want, you know what I mean, like that. just to give you, a visual, but, resistance is resistance, okay? And now I'm going to go to the lower time frame, okay? And we'll do 15 minute. So here, I had the Asian session marked up. It eventually broke the high of the Asian session, right? And then it pulled back into the demand that was from this low, and then it took off to the upside for the rest of the New York session, right? But didn't really do much after that. All right, so now we're right back at it. All right, so we're just out of the Asian session. I'm just going to mark it up. All right, there it is. Okay, so here's our Asian session, and then you can see where we're trending down, right? It wasn't really ranging. Like you can see this one was also trending up, and now we can see this one trending down in the Asian session. So, we have levels to go off of, right? Support and resistance when, you have some kind of trend. But now we're out of the Asian session, and price has not taken out the high or the low here of the Asian session. And again, we're expecting, well, I'm expecting the euro dollar to fall, right? If I'm expecting the dollar go up, then I'm expecting this to fall. If I'm expecting it to fall, then I want to see manipulation to the upside. So what do we have when we look left, right? We got this major level of resistance. We got this previous week high, and we have yesterday's high. So what I'm looking for is any fair value gaps, any order blocks, anything that I can, see as point of interest. And here, there is a fair value gap that sits in here. You guys can't see it. Let me take this away. All right here, this bull candle from this resistance and this bear candle, there's a fair value gap right there. So I'm going to, place that. And again, guys, if you have a hard time identifying fair value gaps, there is a indicator. I will pop it up right now in a second. Okay, there's an indicator called the FVG, Fair Value Gap by Nephew Sam. Get that indicator. When you pop it on, right, it will paint all the fair value gaps that are there on the chart. So here's one that I didn't even see, and we may respect that, but it won't really be manipulation because we haven't broken the high of that Asian session. This one would be the manipulation. All right, so even if I take mine away, look, they put it there anyway. All right, so I'm just put mine back, right, and it happens to be right at the same place. And so now you can see all the, how we got these gaps. I'm definitely going to expect price to push up, break the Asian high, all right, take the liquidity that sits there, and now go and balance itself out, right, where we have this imbalance, right, major drop, and then we went on down, and now we're going back to that same area where we began the drop. So when it takes the money, right, and then comes in, balances itself out, at that point, I am expecting it to drop. But maybe it'll be a little greedy. Maybe it wants to go and take out the highs of yesterday and last week before it drops, right? But that's what I'm expecting to happen. So I can, prematurely, right now, I can just go ahead and set my pending orders for, a sell limit right here. Basically, I'm saying, okay, when price gets here, I want to be in this trade for a sell, right? But with me doing this, I'm just kind of foreshadowing what I expect to happen. I'm not getting any confirmation that it will actually happen, right? Because as the bulls come up here, we're bullish, right? I need to see bears that actually start showing up from here to have confirmation that price will fall. So if I don't, with having a limit order, you don't really know if the bears are going to really show up or if they actually shown up rather, right? You know what I mean? So you're taking a little risk in that regard, but you're getting in from a nice point of interest and a high point in regards to a sell. So that works in your favor. But confirmation is typically what will land you a winning trade. All right. So just keep that in mind, guys. All right. But, I can have the sell limit order here in the fair value gap, or I can have it up here, if I think price is going to be a little greedy, and try to go get, the high of yesterday and last week, in which case, all I got to do is look left, and here is a swing point. But look, I'm already, with the trade that I'm in, I'm already with my stop above that high point. So if any of these are activated, I'll make sure to have my stop at that same area, right, which will probably be about 25 to 30 pips, guys. And then again, if the news is good for the dollar, I'm going to make money, right? You know what I mean? But you have to, be able to piece these things together in order to do that, all right? And I want to help you guys do that. So, rock with me again, forexwithbain.com. Guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me. I really appreciate it. All right, so now you guys kind of get the gist of what's going on with these non-dollar based pairs. I am expecting a drop on majority of them. All right. Had a nice rise. We consolidated where we didn't break the highs. And I'm waiting for the manipulation to the upside, right, to kind of push to that fair value gap or push to the previous high last week and then come on down, right? But that's all going to be pending news. So we're just, marking up things and trying to analyze, what's supposed to happen so that when it does, we get in and we make the money. All right. So you can expect the same thing for pound dollar. All right. Same kind of story. Look at this level. Right. Okay, guys, you're going to see it. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen it in your trading career already, but there is that resistance level. It's not a fair value gap. It's just resistance. All right. And there it is. So, you're looking at that and you're like, I kind of see what he's talking about. It's failing. It's not really getting there, right? And that's, simple as it gets sometimes. But, there's other little factors to it that I want you guys to know about. That way, you can really get it in, all right? But pound dollar, I'm looking for the drop. I got some alerts right now because you never know. Dollar may start trying to boom, 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 or, as of right now, and then we can catch everything. But here it is. Look, you see how we're getting like a little indecision bar right here, right? And now we're starting to push down. I'm expecting it once again to go and take out the liquidity that sits at the Asian low, all right? Expect it to go kaboom, maybe tap down here a little bit. Who knows? Maybe it might get super greedy and try to get the low of yesterday before it rises. But I don't really think so. Again, I'm just, I don't know everything, right? The market does what it wants to do. And I'm just going to prepare for, those possibilities. All right. But I'm expecting take out liquidity and then go up. All right. So again, all the non-dollar based pairs, look, odd is already doing something and going down. Look, so it's already starting to fall from this Fibonacci level. Guys, look at how to the T, right? We've gotten rejection right off that line, that 50% Fibonacci line. That's not a coincidence. All right. Just want to, point that out. Either way, set in a few more alerts because we want to get ready for the show. How did you get that Asian session and New York session background set up like that on your chart? So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Go to indicators, obviously, and then go look up the sessions indicator. There's a lot of indicators that are similar to this, and they're named differently, like the Asian session indicator or the Asian session, whatever. There'll be different iterations of the name, right, with the word sessions in it, but it typically does the same thing where it paints the background of the actual Asian session. It paints the background of the Asian, New York, and London session. And really quick, guys, I'm going to give you a quick gem, all right, for the time frames. Okay. 1 second. Okay, there you guys go. That is the Asian, London, and New York session times for if you're on the East Coast. All right. And the last gem is this. All right. That is where that's the time frame that London and New York overlaps. But goes to just to get you in the mix, right? Once you got the sessions indicator on there and you hit settings, typically all of these boxes will be checked, right? So you'll have London checked, you'll have New York checked, and quite frankly, the colors will be cranked up like this. Things will be super bright, and it may very well hurt your eyes, right? But you'll have to get in here and play with the colors as you see fit, so that obviously it doesn't hurt your eyes, and you'll understand which session it is that you're in. So just checking the box to make the colors enable, and then obviously get in here, changing the colors around for how clear you want them to look, or if you don't want them to be there, that clear at all, right? That's pretty much it. And then for the visibility tab, I don't have this sessions indicator showing on the hours, the days, the weeks, the months, and everything else, right? If I do that, watch this. So as of right now, right, if we go to the daily, like you don't see anything, right, as far as the colors. But if I go ahead and turn that session indicator on and I start marking it, you see now it does all of that. And this is bananas, right? It's what are you going to do? Your eyes are just going to hurt. You're going to get off the chart. You're not going to want to do anything with that. So you don't need them on the higher time frames. It's basically what I was trying to get at. Long story short, you just need it to show all on, the seconds, right? And then up to 15 minutes on the chart. So you okay that? Come on down to the 15-minute. And now that's the only time you'll see the colors determining, what session you're in. So you'll always know, just by the color representation. But you can always, like, if you use this crosshair, you don't even really need the indicator. Once you get on the 15-minute time frame and you use the crosshair, you can just look at the very bottom of the screen down here, like right down here, and it'll tell you, okay, 5 p.m. Well, I know that's when the Asian session starts. All right. Let's look at when the blue box ends. Oh, what do you know? It's 3 a.m. Well, that's when the Asian session ends, right? And now we get into London. That's why the color changes. So, from 3 a.m. to about 12 p.m. In the afternoon Eastern time, that's London. All right. And then from 8 to 5, it's basically New York. And then again, from 8 to 12 is when London and New York overlap. And that's usually where you have the reversals. That's usually where everything kind of goes in the direction that you intended it to go in. So I'm telling you, if you guys can understand how the Wyckoff works and Asian manipulation works in conjunction with the overall trend, okay, and everything else, support and resistance, et cetera, it's going to make you a killer in the market. All right. This is how people, get those pinpoint entries where they have really tight stop losses, really great risk to rewards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So please rock with me if you're trying to figure out how to do that. All right. Forexwithbain.com. So yeah, that's how you'll put that on. For me, I typically take the London and New York session off, and I just leave my Asian session a very faint blue, because for me, I know that's really all I really need, right? Is to identify the Asian session, and then what happens in that manipulation time frame, I'll be able to, frame whatever it's going to be for London and New York, right? That's just kind of how that goes. So hopefully that made sense, but that's how you get that painted on there. All right. So I want to take a quick look at the pound pairs, and then we'll go over to our commodities and our indices to see what that looks like. But you guys know I'm looking to sell these non-dollar based pairs. All right. Pound odd. Okay. So pound odd looks extremely bullish because we just broke the previous week high and the previous day high. So we're expected to continue rising higher, but I see a fair value gap right here. Again, I'm marking all of this off the daily, so this would be as if I'm taking it as a swing trade if I go off of these markups. Okay. But again, just marking what you see is going to help a lot in determining if you're going to get in. I mean, what direction you're going to get in for. So then I look left, and I see we have this swing point right here. All right, so that's my resistance. And if we're going to continue rising higher, which a break above a high or a low indicates, right? So we broke the high. So that indicates that price wants to continue rising higher. If I do a quick measurement up to resistance, that's 163 pips. So now how do I align myself to get into a buy on this pound odd, right? Well, it's pretty simple, right? I already marked its fair value gap up. Okay, let me just kind of push it out a little bit and right about there. Right, I've already marked this up. I can easily just put a buy limit right there, just sit it right there, right? I can do that, but I can also go down, right, to the lower time frame, get more details on the way price action looks, the way the structure looks, right? And again, see a high. We went and broke that high. We have fair value gap here. We got, bit of a demand zone down here. Looking left, that's where it is, but we've already tapped into it and took off. So now this fair value gap from the higher time frame is still here on this 4-hour time frame as well. It's just, it's not super well defined. Now I can just bring it in like that, right? And then come on down like this, right? So there's that fair value gap. Again, break, retest. Okay, look, we got a low, we have a high, so we can place Fibonacci. Take it from the low, bring it to the high. And now look, the 50% Fibonacci level sits right in the fair value gap. This is what we call a confluence, right? Two things lining up, in the same, to mean basically the same thing. So I can expect price to drop down, hit this fair value gap, and start to take off. All right. And look, my order would have been activated. I could have probably get away with a tight stop loss right here, but most likely I will put it behind here, this low. All right. And that's what that would look like. But guys, this is going to be a really good trade. All right. The pound odd. All right. The nice break we have. And then again, we have a break with imbalance, right? That's what makes price so attractive to pull back to this gap to balance itself back out, because we broke a level with imbalance. So it just shows you key players came in to make this move happen. So they're going to go, come right back to it, balance things out, and they're going to continue to rise, right? That's how that's going to go. So I will give you guys this play because it looks like money right out the gate. All right, but hold tight. And yeah, so this is, all right, 43 pip stop loss. So it's probably going to be close to 100 if we try to get below the low of the previous day. All right, so I'm not going to, let me just see what it looks like first. Yeah, 106 pips. So we'll go with the 43 pips instead, because again, that's less than 50 and it's behind our 61.8. Only issue, right, is that I see now a little tiny fair value gap right there. Okay, so I'm going to go and push this down a bit more, all right? And 58 pips. So not horrible, but right, but it's definitely up there. So now let's go for at least 150 on our take profit. Okay, and that'll give us we're overall 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, all right? But this is looking really good. Now remember, we've already looked left and we saw that resistance level, so we really can crank it up all the way here. And now we have a 1-to-3, almost a 1-to-4, 58 pip stop loss for a 217 pip take profit. I don't know how many of you have gotten in a trade where you won over 100 pips, but my team does this all the time. All right. So guys, please take, into consideration this pound odd trade as it's looking prime time for a buy. All right. And I'll give you the information here. So again, this is the pound odd. This is a buy limit. Again, pending order, guys. So make sure you choose the right one. If you choose buy stop, you will be upset. Okay. All right. Entry price is going to be 1.94814. Okay. Stop loss is going to be 1.94233, and that is for 58 pips. Okay. Take profit is going to be 1.96988, and that is for 217 pips to resistance. All right. There is probably the play of the day, even though, the dollar is going to really give us the plays on these non-dollar based pairs. All right. But let me scan through, guys. Sorry to take up so much time, but again, just, you gotta look at everything correctly and make sure that you have some understanding of what you see price will do. All right. But on this pound pair, I see we broke a high again. So again, it just seems like we may be taking off on these pound pairs, right? Pound CHF, same deal. We just broke the weekly high. All right. So we may start rising on that again. And you can just see, if I come to the daily, you can just see, man, look at this, just crazy up movement. And it doesn't seem like it's going to stop, right? Yes, pullbacks are expected, but the chart needs to show you that it's getting ready to do that. And right now, it doesn't seem that way. Yes, we're at a resistance level, technically, on the pound CHF, but things are just, because they're breaking highs, it looks like they want to continue rising. Right? Again, here, same kind of situation. Breaking highs, we may go on up. So don't be surprised if these pound pairs take off, guys. They're telling you that they want to do so. Here, pound JPY, same situation where we went rise, pull back, rise, pull back. Now we're probably going to continue rising. Just set my alert a little bit, but the pound pairs are looking bullish. All right, and again, dollar pairs are also looking bullish because the dollar looks bullish. So we'll probably get the break and go on dollar CAD. Same for dollar CHF, even though it kind of looking like equal highs right now, right? So you got to be careful. Again, news is going to tell us everything that we need to know. So guys, if news is bad, you can already see that this, is giving us the double top and we may drop. All right. It's just that simple. USD JPY looks more bullish, but again, I can see the level right here where we may not break it. All right. So news is going to be critical in determining what the dollar is going to do. And you guys need to know how to adjust accordingly. Bad news, you want to buy these, right? If it's bad news. If it's good news, you want to buy these, right? And then for the dollar, if it's good news, you want to buy these. And if it's bad news, you want to sell these. It's just that simple. But gold, all right, gold continues to rise higher. All right, so you can see we broke above resistance, and now we're tapping into this high over here. So again, gold may fall, especially if the news for the dollar is positive. So look out for that. All right, I'll just put a little bit of a resistance line here for now. All right, but look out for the drop on gold if news for the dollar comes out good. All right. But I got right here. So when price was here, it was rejecting it, and then I sold. But guess what? Kaboom, right? It just kept rising higher. So it's always going to be a situation like that, guys, where that it looks good for the drop, but then it just doesn't drop, right? And that's that. So pound dollar going off and probably dropping. Yep. So it is out of the Asian session, and then the manipulation, you can see we were in a downtrend, right? And then we pull back to this order block right about there. Okay. Go right to it. We mitigated it. And now price looks like it's going to continue falling. All right. And all of that lines up because, again, the dollar looks like it's going to rise. So pound dollar looks like it's going to fall. And then when we look left, we have a low here, right? We have a low here, right? And then we have all of this down here. But the main thing is that you can see areas where you can take your profit. All right, guys, that's what that's all about. But GU is looking really good for the sell right now. You can take a position like this where you stop right above that order block. That's just 12 pips, guys. Aim for your 1 and 2. Look at that. Look at just where it so happens to be at. Right, guys? 27 pips in the bank just like that. All right. So that's a position that you guys can take for GU. Again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me. I really appreciate that. But just back over to gold. I'm waiting for that drop. GU just keeps going. All right. Waiting for the drop. Oil. Let me see. So we're breaking the low. Now, again, when the dollar rises, oil will typically fall. All right. So I'm getting a little hint of that right now as we're breaking the previous day low. So it becomes that simple sometimes, guys. And it's also looks, a bit, slanted rise, but it's looking bearish overall. So coming down and looking at it from a lower time frame, guys, this is looking pretty good for a drop. What I see is that fair value gap sitting right here, and we've already tapped into it, guys. So I'm going to actually sell oil right now. Okay. And we are at the top of the hour, so it's right on time. All right. Don't forget, guys, that pound odd, we got that pending order. I'm looking to sell all the non-dollar based pairs if news is good for the dollar. I'll buy them if news is bad. And again, I'll make the adjustments on the dollar-based pairs according to, right? The odd New Zealand and the odd JPY look good for potential sell opportunities. And then here on oil, I think we're going to cash out right now for a sell, all right, with our stop right above that fair value gap. Let's put it up just a little bit to be safe because I know how they do, all right? And that's just a $1 move, so that's 100 pips when we're talking oil, right? But we're going to aim for our 1 to 2, and what do you know? Right at the weekly low, and that is for $2 move. So you're going to make 200 pips when this plays out on oil, all right? Nice little break of a trend line right about here. Okay. Boom. So once again, you can kind of see that we've already broken, well, we really haven't broken these lows, but still, we've gotten a nice break of the trend line and a nice retest to the fair value gap. There's our confluence once again, right? Two things happening at once. And here's our bear showing up, guys. I'm going to sell. Right. And again, you can, to be on the safe side, right, to like really let it play out, you can put your stop way up here past the previous day high or the previous week high. But again, we're just putting it right above the fair value gap. And we're putting it to here. Now, if we look at it on the higher time frame, what we can see is that the major, okay, so this is the major swing point area. And you can see a lot of support here as well when you look left. Just even coming from right over around here, right? All that is support. Okay, so this is what we're going to get, and then we can probably turn right around and buy it from here, catching it back up to the upside. All right. But guys, oil looking really, really good for the drop right now. So please get in where you fit in. Guys, we are at the top of the hour. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. I'll take some time to answer you. All right, giving you guys the floor. All right, oil, we are in profit. All right, want to take a look at gold, and we get the oil play because screen's not clear. Gotcha. My bad. I thought I don't know why I thought I put it up there, but here we go. And this is US oil. Okay, it is a market sell now. Entry price was 78.37. Okay, stop loss is 79.54, and again, that's just about $1 move. Take profit is 75.79, and that is about a $2 move. So we're risking 100 pips to make 200 pips. All right, guys, a mini lot will give you $10 when this plays out. All right. I'm sorry, a micro lot. A micro lot will give you $10. So let me just write that. 0.01, right? That will give you $10. Okay. 0.10 will give you a cool $100. And then 1.00 will give you a nice band. All right. So hopefully, you put in the lot size that's not going to blow your account or, over leverage you, right? So that you can survive the trade. All right, guys, even that $10, it adds up, because I'm sure some of you know already, even when you're trading a small lot size and it goes against you, it seems like your account, loses, you're losing a lot of money, right? It seems that way, right? When you're like, well, damn, I just took out a small lot size. Why am I losing so much? The same could be in reverse, where you take out a small lot size and you're winning a whole lot, or you make a whole lot off of a small lot size. So long story short, don't over leverage, guys. Don't bite off more than you can chew, because when you see that the trade goes against you just a little bit, and then it takes you out because you over leverage, and then it goes completely in your direction, that's what really hurts. Okay, trying to save you guys from that pain. But let's take a look at gold and let our oil play do its thing. So again, with gold, I'm saying that we've been rising, right? And we just broke above this high and we made this new high. But now with this new high, we're sitting at a level of resistance when we look left. So what I'm expecting is a drop from here, right? Like there's plenty of imbalance. Again, we turn on that fair value gap indicator, right? And voila, right? Gap here, gap there, gap everywhere. It's, this candle's not closed, but when it does close, it'll be a gap right here. So these are all places price needs to go to balance itself out, right? So obviously it's going to get to this one first before it gets to this one and this one and this one, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm expecting some sort of drop. So I'm gonna turn the indicator off, and I'm gonna simply go to like the 1 hour time frame, because what I want to see is what's going on around this resistance level in detail. And now what I'm seeing is that, look, we have these tweezer tops. All right, guys, look up tweezer tops. Google tweezer tops. You'll see these two little candles just like this. And that is a bearish reversal candlestick pattern, right? You got chart patterns, double tops, double bottoms, whoop, whoop, right? But you also have candlestick patterns where there's just a few, a handful of candles that make up a particular pattern that indicates price is going to either reverse or continue or what have you, right? So that's what we have right now on gold. So to be honest, I would even take my chances selling it just like this with a really tight stop loss above those tweezer tops. So that's just a $4 move on gold, which is 40 points. And if I aim for my 1 or 2, you can see that I'm making roughly a $10 move on gold, and that'll be 100 pips, right? So this is something that I'm actually willing to take personally. But gold is very volatile, and then obviously, we got news pending. So really, to get more confirmation, right? I would like to see gold break, below, like come back into the previous day low, because again, we got a fair value gap here, right? There's so much you got to take into consideration every time you go down to the lower time frame to try to analyze what's going to happen, right? So already you can see it's dropping. I'll probably make the money before it even whatever. But again, we just got to respect everything that price is giving us and showing us on the chart. So here, we're going to come and balance out, but maybe news is bad and it causes gold to just kind of break out of there, right? You know what I mean? So I'll be taking this, just because it's coming from resistance, not because I actually have confirmation that it's going to drop. So you have to know the difference, right? But this is what I'm expecting. But what will really make me go crazy on gold is if we push down, we break below this fair value gap, and we break below this low right here, right? If that happens, then all I'm going to do is look for whatever imbalance that we have, or maybe an order block from here, right? For price to now pull back into, right? Pull back into, and then I'll be selling from the high from there, or I'll be selling from this fair value gap like that. And I promise you that'll be the money, because I have confirmation that we broke a low and we retested it and respected it as resistance. The bears showed up. It's go time. So instead of me just getting that 100 pips, right, I'll be getting 350 pips. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's taking candy from a baby. So hopefully, options that answers you. But I'll give you a few more seconds if you got any questions regarding the gold play. Oil alerts are going off. We're in profit. Just going to set a few more alerts. Again, guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me. I really appreciate it. All right, you got it. You absolutely got it. Guys, thank y'all for joining, waking up with me. I really, really appreciate the love. I know it's not easy to do, so appreciate your time. Hopefully you gain a lot of value from today's session. If you did, don't forget to, come and extend that knowledge with me and my team over in my Discord. Just check out forexwithbain.com. And guys, be safe out there on the road. Have a great day, and let's get this money. All right. Peace.